RIEL Casimero against ZOLANI TETE. Now, this is very last minute. I should have made this video a couple days ago. I've been recovering from man flu and was busy catching up with work, whatever else. But if you do catch the video, please try and catch the fight, because I think this is flying under the radar a little bit, especially in the shadow of Joshua or Ruiz and Joshua next weekend. But it's a really, really good fight. Two action-packed fighters. Tete, maybe some of the Brits might remember Tete from appearing out of nowhere, from complete obscurity as far as I was concerned, when he smashed Paul Butler in 2015, I think it was. I think in March 2015. Very, very tall, 5'9", I think he is. Very long reach for a 118 pounder, for a 112 pounder. This fight is at 118 pounds. Devastating power, throws wonderful straights, beautiful jab, and he's coming up against little Jean-Riel Casimero. Now, Casimero is Filipino, much, much shorter than Tete, but this guy comes to fight. He's coming in on a pretty impressive win streak. He's action-packed. He throws volume, and I think this might be a nice little scrap. I am going for Tete for a few reasons, but this fight's an interesting one. There's an interesting dynamic going into this, and that they're both kind of coming in from quite lengthy runs, but they share a common opponent, with the exception of Casimero's loss to a guy called Jonas Sultan a couple of years ago, which kind of came out of nowhere. Sultan he boxed beautifully that night, if you've seen the fight. This guy Sultan boxed out of his skin. I think it's with the best fight of his entire career. But for whatever reason, Casimero just wasn't there, and he lost a really kind of sloppy point decision to Sultan. With the exception of that, these guys share a common opponent, and some of you will know this guy, ZOLANI. He's a 37-year-old, I think he's now, South African, and this guy, again, unheralded. Fantastic boxer, beautiful power. He had a great fight against Nito Donaire until it was stopped. Very competitive. But yeah, both these guys fought ZOLANI, and they were both knocked out in round 5. Quite strange. But I am picking Tete. Although I do like Casimero and I like watching him fight, he throws a really, really nice straight up top, but his straight to the body is very, very lazy. I don't know, it's almost like he's throwing it from way too far back, but it feels like he's just kind of launching it. Feels like all the way from the ring all the way across, and then finally it lands. It looks very slow and very labored. I'm not sure why I said his straight up top is very fast and very snappy, but I do think that the Tete, if he wanted to, he could time that, especially to the body, the straight to the body. His jab to the body, Casimero's jab to the body isn't that snappy either. Again, jab to the head is much quicker, but I think that Tete will be of a mind to time that. He can probably snap in his straight down the pipe prior to Casimero's ever getting there when he's going downstairs. I do think it'll be action-packed. I do think it's a tall order for Casimero. He's really gonna chop down the tree. Tete's much larger, longer reach. But surprisingly, Casimero came in, I think, 17.5 pounds on the weight. But Tete came in at 16.5 pounds, giving up a pound and a half for seemingly no reason. This is his first fight back after his shoulder surgery. It's the same surgery, or the same injury, that forced his withdrawal from the World Boxing Super Series. Excuse me, I'm still getting rid of the man flu. Of course, happily, his withdrawal from the World Boxing Super Series meant we got Donaire and Inoue in the final, which was spectacular. I mean, if any boxing fan, anybody that considers himself a boxing fan, you have to go and check out that fight. It's spectacular. It's got everything you'd want in a fight of the year contender. That's my pick. I don't really care how good Ruiz and Joshua is. I can't see it being better than that, but fingers crossed. But if you don't have any intentions, this fight's on in Birmingham, so it'll be on British time. Do check out the fight. Give the fight some support. It will be good. I can see Tete stopping him maybe in mid to late rounds. It might go the full distance. You might even see Casimero coming in and just kind of relying or applying relentless pressure that Tete maybe folds under. Said it's his first fight back after his shoulder surgery, coming into a fight against a guy like Casimero who is seemingly endlessly hungry. Maybe isn't a good choice. Tete is my pick. I do like him for the knockout. Maybe it goes to points. Tete isn't as concussive as the Paul Butler fight kind of made it seem, but he does hit hard. Both guys carry decent power, and I'm really quite excited to see them go at it. Also check out the ZOLANI defeats for both of them. They're quite curious if you can find them in the same round as well. I think Tete was 2010, and Casimero fought him in 2011. But regardless, both these guys are coming in on great runs, in excellent form. Very excited to see the fight. Let me know your thoughts below.